This is a video of our sailing trip to the Caribbean on our sailing boat, Mauna Kea. The first part of our journey is from Oakville to Hampton, Virginia. Mauna Kea is a 36 CS tradition. There was lots of upgrades to do on the boat before we left on our trip, so I started in 2014. First thing I did was have solar panels installed on the boat by Dan Click at K-Weld. He did a great job. The next project was a desalinator to turn salt water into fresh water. Next was a Xantrix inverter, so I had power on the boat. Then there was the macerator, so I could pump my black water overboard into the ocean. In January of 2016, we went to the Toronto Boat Show to sign up for Sail to the Sun Rally with Wally Moran. In February, we received our 2016 itinerary for our boat rally. Looked like it was going to be exciting. Early spring, we noticed there was some bottom blistering on the boat, so the bottom paint had to be stripped off. I hired a young fellow named Stuart who brought over a sandblaster and sandblasted the bottom. I had to build a tent around it so the sand wouldn't blow all over the parking lot. Here you see Stuart inside the tent, sandblasting the bottom, and he did a great job. We had to let the bottom dry out a bit, and then 6 coats of epoxy. After the epoxy, we did 2 coats of anti-fouling bottom paint. First there was a red coat, and then there was a blue coat. We did the red coat, blue coat, so we can see when the blue started to wear off, the red would show. So we knew that after a while we saw a lot of red, it was time to get a new coat of anti-fouling. A week before we were set to leave, Butch and Heather threw a little get-together for us to say goodbye. The next thing we knew, it was July 2nd and it was time to go. We had a few people meet us down at the dock to say goodbye, and it was great to see everybody early in the morning. And here we go. We're finally on our way on our great voyage. The first leg of our trip took us from Oakville to Coburg. Here we're leaving Coburg, traveling up the Murray Canal into the Bay of Quinte, stopping at Trenton Air Force Base, Belleville, and Picton. Here we're leaving Picton and we make one stop in Kingston and then move on up to Gananoque. On August 14th, we left Gananoque and checked into the United States at Cape Vincent, New York. After one night, we moved on to Little Sodus Bay to have our mast taken down. On August 17th, we left Little Sodus Bay in mid-afternoon, made our way to Oswego to get onto the Erie Canal. By that time, it was probably about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We decided to make our way through the first lock and then rest for the day. The next day, we'd carry on through Lake Oneida all the way to Utica. The next part of our journey along the Erie Canal is from Utica to Troy. When we hit Troy, that's where we enter the Hudson River, our first taste of salt water, tides, and current. This part of the journey is from Troy, New York, down to Staten Island. We had to stop in Catskill to have our mast put back up again. On September 1st, we arrived in Great Kills Harbor, next to Staten Island. We decided to stay here for a week because we heard reports of Hurricane Hermine coming up the coast about 150 miles offshore. We thought we'd better wait this one out and stay put for a while. On September 9th, we up-anchored and made our way over to Sandy Hook, New Jersey. We anchored in front of the Coast Guard station. This Coast Guard station was damaged so badly from Hurricane Sandy, nobody lives there anymore. The next day, we made our way out to the ocean, and it was our first day on the ocean, and it was pretty calm. We're on our way to Atlantic City. September 13th, we're up early and on our way. We travel along the ocean to Cape May and enter into the Delaware Bay, travel across the Chesapeake Delaware Canal into the Chesapeake Bay, over to Havre de Grace, Maryland. On September 17th, we left Havre de Grace, made a one-night stop over to the Sassafras River, and then on our way to Baltimore Harbor. On our way into the Baltimore Harbor, we noticed this buoy with stars and stripes on it. This is a marker. This is where Francis Scott Key wrote the lyrics for the Star-Spangled Banner as he was held prisoner across from Fort McHenry as it was being bombarded by the British. This was our anchorage spot in downtown Baltimore. We were about 25 yards away from the dock, and townhouses on one side and a marina on the other. We were very protected. Across the road was a grocery store, coffee shop, and restaurants. On the other side of the townhouse was a liquor store. We were in the right spot. After a couple of days, we found out we had to stick around for a few weeks because Hurricane Michael was making its way up the coast. We didn't want to get anywhere close to the ocean, so we just stayed put for about 2.5 weeks. It was a great time. Lots to do in that city. As we were waiting around Baltimore, waiting for Hurricane Michael to make its way up the coast and move on past us, we met a couple from the rally. They just happened to anchor right behind us, Jack and Diane from Cape Cod. We met them, had coffee with them, and we got along really great, and we stuck together all the way to the Bahamas. They were great people to sail with. We had so much fun and can't wait to see them again. finally left Baltimore October 6th. We made our way to Annapolis, then St. Michael's, then the Solomon Islands, and then Mill Creek, and finally to Hampton, Virginia, to set up for our Sail to the Sun Rally 2016. We arrive at Hampton, Virginia, and the first part of our journey is done.